It's one thing that seems to be the conflict. Even by the look on your face, baby, the word mambo sauce, it just does you in. Why is the thought of that experience so, not hurtful, but so, like, not something you like to talk about?
Mambo sauce in its entirety was a beautiful thing. Learning experience, the music, that type of camaraderie, like, that was great. It's how it ended. It was a transition part that I didn't agree with. I didn't like. And, you know, again, decisions were made, whatever. That's the past. I don't cringe to mambo sauce. Like I say, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't have been the strong singer that I am now if it wasn't for mambo sauce. That I will say. But again, in that, there are friends and there are people who are in relationships and other things happen. So it isn't just that. It's part of it. It's, you know, it's layers. But mambo sauce wasn't a bad time in my life. It is something that, for all of those who are a part of it, I know we had great times, great memories, and we, you know, we made a lot of people happy.
The biggest thing was the fact that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, you were alleging that there was a friend that you had. You still have this friend.
Best friend.
So your best friend was dating Black at the time, correct? Okay. And because you're watching your best friend hurt by this man she's alleging cheated on her with his now wife, obviously as her best friend, did that make you close off any future friendship that you could have with Black?
Well, the thing is, Black and I'm not gonna, we never really had a friendship.
Okay.
We had like a working relationship. You know, you come in, you laugh, you know, like, that was just really it. As time went on, and of course, like when it stopped, how I felt, how the band ended, what was going on with the tail end of their relationship, yeah, I didn't feel good about entertaining this particular person. Again, this is also a long time ago.
Okay.
So when it was brought up, mind you, Arena and I talked for about like 2 hours, 2-3 hours in the scene. Talking about the Duncans was like 2 minutes.
The first thing I heard was from Sherelle, Joy blocked me, and I don't know her like that. I don't know why. And I asked that question too.
Sherelle and her husband are blocked, but they've been blocked for years. So to just notice it now, you know, it's not that important, is it?
So it wasn't like a big thing. Everything I was talking about was the past. I wasn't constantly talking about it. It wasn't an issue. It was, I hate to say it, production made it more important than all of the scenes that we had. It wasn't. It was the past. When I talk about Black, I'm talking about the past. I'm not talking about the present. I tried to keep it as the band. When you were asked in some scene with a dinner, you brought up, oh, well, I think it's because, you know, I used to date her friend.
I feel like Joy has a problem with me.
Why?
So Joy and my ex-girlfriend, they became friends when we were in Mambo Sauce.
Right.
So, I don't know. Just because, you know, that ain't work out, I'm really not sure.
And so when you did that, that's what kind of made it kind of broaden up.
Let's be clear about this, though. So you didn't necessarily have an issue with the situation
No,
until...
I had an issue with being on the show with y'all.
But right,
That's
of course.
what I had an issue with.
But I don't understand that
very
either,
clear.
because 2 years
Extremely.
from today, 2 years from today, you was on the same stage with me,
Yeah,
all
I can work with
kooky,
coworkers.
cooing and all that, right?
I can work
So
with
I
coworkers.
also
But
wanna
this
say
is
this.
work.
I also
Is it
wanna
not
say
work?
this. With Mambo Sauce, I knew Joy more than anybody on the stage before she met Clifton. I have been in spaces with Joy for over 3 months every single day. So I know Joy, I know things about Joy, I know things that she's done, so forth and so on. I have been a protector of Joy. I know Joy's birthday because Joy's birthday is the same birthday as my son, which is March 11th. I have been the person that churched or ushered Joy into Mambo Sauce. I was the one who helped her.
Wait, you were the what?
I was the person that ushered you in. Because when my friend is the one who found you, I said, bring her in here. When you came to rehearsal or when you came to audition, it was my opinion that mattered the most.
It was a band vote.
It was my opinion. You weren't in the band, so you don't know how that vote
It was a
happened.
band vote. Y'all
You
said it.
weren't in the band, so you didn't know how that happened.
Y'all told me it was a band vote.
I'm telling
and the
you
band said
that because you weren't in the band, you don't know how that happened. I had the most say-so in that because you would
It
be my
was a
counterpart.
band vote.
Just like if a musician was there, the musicians would have say-so because they are working with this person. However, I ushered you in. I'm the one who brought Joy in. Everything was cool, collective, all of that. I don't know where any of this is coming from.
The thing is that it seems like at the end of the day, the two of you just won't ever.
Man, I don't have a
No, it's
problem
the
with
past.
her.
Like,
It's
I know
just
the
some
past is
bull-
the
That's what I'm
past.
saying. My thing is that this is so present. Whatever it is, I didn't want to keep talking about
Yeah.
it, right? If a conversation was ever going to happen, it would have been him and I, if that was to ever happen.
Yeah, and
not
that's- and I-
not in this space
Yeah.
with everyone. When we came into the house, you got to think about it. When we came into the house, who did we speak to?
You spoke to us and the Tylers.
Who spoke to us?
Us and the Tylers.
Right. So with that, for people who can't even say hello, and now you want to have a conversation,
But y'all
no,
entered
it's
the
not
room
open.
where everybody were. I mean, I heard from Winter that Clifton said when you walk into a room, you speak to everyone.
Yes.
I didn't get spoken to at all. And we were sitting in the room. And y'all didn't speak to us. So it wasn't, we were already there. So it wasn't like we didn't speak.